Welcome to 10-5, the official podcast of the OPP Association. I am your co-host, Scott Mills.
And I am your other co-host, Emily Brown. For those new listeners, the OPP Association represents nearly 10,000 members of the Ontario Provincial Police. Our members are at the heart of everything we do, and they are our greatest strength. And we're dedicated to keeping our members and the public informed about key issues that impact policing across Ontario.
Well, thank you, Emily, for that kind introduction. And we have a really important guest today named Cheryl Russell. And Cheryl is the Community Development Manager for Donor Relations and Collections from the Canadian Blood Services. And we're going to be talking about the need for donors. And we're going to be calling on people across the country to be one of the new or returning donors that are very much needed each and every day. And we're going to be encouraging everyone who is able to consider booking an appointment today, tomorrow, or in the coming weeks to help fuel Canada's lifeline. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be able to talk here on this podcast today.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Cheryl. And we're going to be kind of tossing you some rapid fire questions, and we're ready if you're ready.
Absolutely.
So, Cheryl, why is blood and plasma needed, and some of the ways that it's used to help patients?
That's a great question, Scott. Today, more patients need blood products than we have seen over the past decade. There has been an increase in surgeries and treatments that require blood products because the population is aging and growing. A small group of dedicated donors have been keeping Canada's lifeline going, and thanks to their generosity, patients have been getting what they need. We can't continue to rely on this small group, however. We need a steady flow of new donors every day. As an example, we need up to 8 donors a week to help someone with leukemia, 5 donors to help someone undergoing cancer treatments, and 50 donors just to help someone in a car crash on a long weekend in the summer, for example. For plasma, on average, we need over 500 donors to just make small medication doses for those people with leukemia and other blood disorders that required on a regular basis.
Well, thanks for that, Cheryl. If people don't know the difference between blood and plasma, what is the difference?
Well, the difference is how we take the product. So for whole blood, we take about 450 milliliters from you, and that goes off to hospitals that require whole blood. With plasma, which is not done in the Barrie area and some areas across Ontario and Canada, but there are locations that do plasma. A lot are in the GTA area. And with plasma, what we do is we take out the plasma from the blood. So we want just that liquid gold, it's called. So we take it out and then we give you everything back. So it's just a different process. It takes a little bit longer. And as I said, we don't have the availability to offer plasma donations everywhere, but there are quite a few. So for those members listening, they'll have that option depending on where they live.
Great. Thanks for that, Cheryl. Appreciate it. So how can our OPPA members and other first responders help with the need for blood and plasma donations this year?
Well, first and foremost, we need the first responder teams as well as the OPPA to join the teams that have been set up as a partner for life with Canadian Blood Services. If there isn't a team, then obviously we have to start with that process to start setting up the team. But with the OPPA, you folks do have a team. And, in fact, last year, the Partners for Life program was honored to recognize the OPPA for bringing in the third most summer blood donations in 2024 by a first responder team. So congratulations to the OPPA members, board, and staff. So again, first and foremost, you want to find that team. You want to join that team. If you're a new donor, you must register, whether you use the Give Blood app, which is free, or the website blood.ca. Once you've registered as the new donor, You will find your team through the Partners for Life program, and then you pick a time to donate. Now, as I wanted to definitely mention, is that sometimes with shift work, members can only donate certain times a day. They may not be able to donate as a group, and that is fine. As long as you're part of the team and you donate individually anywhere, that will count towards your team as long as you're part of the team. So that's what we need from the first responders and from OPPA this upcoming year and the rest of 2025. We need you to join your team and donate today.
Well, that's awesome, Cheryl. I know it's just not about today, it's about the future, and you need to find as many donors as possible. So anybody out there listening, that app works really great, the Give Blood app, and it's available for both Android phones and iPhones in the app stores. And you can actually go to the partners link right on it. There's an OPP Association team that you can join. So once you've joined that team, every time you donate blood, it counts towards our team donations. So we need to get it up there so that we can get another award, maybe. that would be awesome. We have a beautiful certificate from last year, so thanks very much for that. Cheryl, I have another question for you. Oh, sorry, sure. Did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you're most welcome, and it was a pleasure to give that to your team.
Oh, great! It was a nice day. It was great to see so many people involved up there. And so, if someone is a new donor, how can they join their blood teams? We just talked about that, using the app and booking an appointment. Is there anything else that you can give us about the app and the whole joining team, the process, how easy it is, stuff like that? Because I think this is what we really, really want to stress here, is that this is an easy thing and this app works great. Over to you, Cheryl.
Yeah, so just to reiterate what you've said, it is extremely easy. And it is a free app. And once you go on that app, it's going to ask you to register if you have not already. So as a new donor, you're simply going to put in your email, your contact information. And once you've registered, then it's going to say, hello, Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. Good evening, Cheryl, right on the top of the screen of that Give Blood app. And once you have been welcomed, then that is when you can so easily, if it's an iPhone, you're going to click on the little happy faces of people in the bottom right-hand corner. If it's an Android, you're going to click on the little lines in the top left-hand corner. And once you go in there, it's going to say, do you want to join a team? Yes, I do. And you're going to punch in OPPA, or Ontario Provincial Police Association, and it's going to bring it up. You're going to accept that. You're going to say, yes, I want to be a member. And as soon as you do that, it's going to say, welcome to the team. And as I stress, sometimes teams will have group donations where, say, the OPPA say they want to adopt a clinic in Barrie, and they're going to want to achieve 20 donations that day. It'll say that on the team that there is a group donation on July 15th. Would you like to join? And you can click on a time and book a time. But again, that's not always the case, especially with first responder groups. We have shift work, we're doing different times. It's very hard to gather people together in that respect. So again, you can donate individually. As long as you're part of that team, your donation will count.
I just have a quick follow-up to that. We have a lot of members up in Northern Ontario. Do you have any advice for somebody that's kind of very far from a donation location?
Yes, that is definitely a challenge, and we acknowledge that and we understand that. My simple advice is that any time and every time that member is traveling, whether it's for business, for work, for personal, that they make a point of booking a donation appointment when they are close to a center. So we do have plasma up north. We have blood donation up north. And that's the best I can advise at this point. What I always say to people is, if you're traveling to BC, for instance, to see family and you're out there for a month, guess what? We have locations there too. So it doesn't matter where you donate or when you donate. It matters that you have to have joined the team. And that's the crucial part, to be able to count these donations towards a team and just show that, partnership and team bonding that an organization has.
Great, thanks, Cheryl. I'd like to get into the donation process itself a little bit, especially for people who have never donated before. How long does a donation typically take?
So blood donations take about an hour the very first time you go. And that's from, the moment you walk in the door to the moment you leave with your snacks. So the actual donation on the bed is about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on the person. But you have a flow. So you walk into the clinic, you're going to drink lots of water. You're going to have healthy foods before a good night's sleep. You want to make sure you bring your physical ID with you. You are going to check in with one of the team members. You're going to complete a donor questionnaire. You're going to have a little one-on-one interview to ask some private information that is confidential, just like a doctor's appointment. You'll be provided with more drinks and snacks throughout your time, and you get to sit back and relax. And as I said, the actual donation of the blood is about 5 to 8 minutes. After that, you get to have more snacks and more fluids and just take a few minutes to enjoy speaking with other donors and talking about why you're donating, what's brought you in that day. And the stories you'll hear in the clinic just warm your heart. And it's a wonderful experience. For plasma, you tend to be longer. And that's because you sit back and the donation takes a bit longer because we're taking that liquid gold out and we're going to give you everything back. So you literally get a meal, you get some fluids, and you get to relax. So again, generally an hour for both. But as you become a pro, you're in and out a little bit quicker.
Thanks, Cheryl. I have got in and out pretty fast. I've been in and out within 45 minutes. And the snacks are great. I tried to do the plasma thing. They got tested. They basically took a little bit of blood during one of my regular blood donations to test, and apparently I didn't have enough platelets in my blood. So they said just keep giving blood. So I was really trying to get the meal.
Now, platelets and plasma are two different things, so that can be a little complicated and depending on where you live, but I would stress to anybody and everyone, don't discount what blood products you can donate. Attempt to do it, call, book in, and try. I've never donated plasma, and I'm excited to try in this next month. I have to travel to do it because we don't have a plasma location near where I work and live. So I have to travel about 45 minutes, but I'm okay with that. And I'm excited to try. So
I want to try too. I guess my blood wasn't, my levels weren't suitable for plasma. Would that change? Like, should I ask them to try again?
Yes, I always say to everyone, never discount yourself as far as eligibility criteria or for deferral. Which is what you've been deferred from plasma. Try again, give it 6 months, give it a year and try again because we need those donations so much. And perhaps your body, so for instance, with blood donations, sometimes our hemoglobins and our iron are low. But if it's not a chronic condition and it's not a health concern for that donor, we encourage you to try again because your body may have just been at a depleted state at that moment, and maybe perhaps in a few months you'll be better.
Great. Now, how can people prepare for their donations? Tips for a successful and fun experience? Because I know like a few people I know, they're just quite anxious to even sign up and even go.
Yes. Well, I stress that if you prepare your body really well, as if you were going to go play a big football game or go for that run or go for that workout, if you prepare your body, you'll do amazing. And how we prepare is to have extreme amounts of water. Like, I want you to drink a lot of water. If you're not a water drinker, you must do that the day before and the day of. Why that is the more hydrated you are, the more easy that blood donation occurs. We also don't want you to come in on a blueberry that day. I mean, we need you to eat a lot of food. We need you to have those carbs, those salty snacks. And my tip is, and this is something I do, is not only do I drink a lot of water, and not only do I have a big breakfast before I donate in the afternoon. I never donate in the morning because I can't get enough food into me to feel right to do my donation. So I donate always in the afternoon, but I always have a bag of salty chips right before I donate. And so what happens is when you have salt, it sort of adheres to those water molecules that you've been pumping in your body. And it just, again, makes that flow of the blood and makes that blood donation so much more comfortable. So I stress, do not donate if you've not eaten. Do not donate if you're dehydrated, because then you're not going to feel well. As far as the needle's concerned, it is nothing to be concerned about. If you've ever had blood taken, don't even worry about it. It's over a little pinch and you're saving someone's life.
Now, I wanted to get into eligibility requirements. Are there any, maybe travel, medications? Can you get into that a little bit, Cheryl?
Absolutely. So again, what I said earlier is never discount an eligibility requirement. So what you might be ineligible now for, 3 years from now, you might not be, or 3 months from now, you might not be. So perfect example is there is a misconception out there that if you've had a tattoo or a piercing, you can never donate. Somehow that flowed through the communities, and that is incorrect information. It's only 3 months. So if I have a piercing today, I have to wait 3 months. But do I wait forever? No, I need you to come back in 3 months and donate. So if you're a regular donor and you want to have a tattoo, you're planning to do a tattoo, you're going to have your donation, you're going to go and have your tattoo done, and then you're going to count the days and you're going to figure out when you can come back and donate again. So tattoos and piercings we've talked about. Travel is a little complicated in the sense that depending on where you travel will depend on whether you have to wait 14 days, 7 days, 3 months. So as an example, certain parts of the Dominican Republic is 3 months. A lot of people don't know that, but other places is only 14 days or 7 days. So I stress to always visit blood.ca. When you go on blood.ca and you click under blood, you'll click ABCs of eligibility and it will outline every detail that you need. And that also includes medications. So a lot of us have medications that we take. Well, am I able to donate on that medication? I don't know. Well, the beauty of the ABCs to eligibility on blood.ca is that you can go there and it'll tell you the most common medications that a lot of people take that are okay to donate with, and those that defer you from donating. The other thing is weight and height. If you're very young, so we have a lot of high school students coming in, and so obviously your members would not fall into this, but for members that may have teenagers that are in high school, the key is that you have to be over 110 pounds. So that's just something to keep in mind. If we have a very small teenager, male or female, and they don't meet the height and weight restrictions, we don't want to make them sick. We don't want to make them feel yucky or weak by taking the blood donation. So we don't just look out for those patients that are waiting for these blood products. We're looking out for the donors as well. Lastly, I think I would just touch on dental cleaning. We found this has happened a few times where people are unaware that if you are donating this particular week, we need you to stay away from the dentist for this particular week, because we cannot have any tools or cleaning or assessments happening on your teeth in that environment of the dental office, because there's a chance that your skin and your gums have been nicked or scraped gently, regardless of what's happened. And what'll happen is some bacteria from your mouth can get into those scratches or those cuts in your mouth from those dental procedures. And we need to be sure that you haven't received any type of infection. And we usually will know that within 3 months. So we want you to be conscious that if you're having a donation, don't book your dental appointment during the week prior. You're going to want to wait till after you've had your donation.
It's all great information, Cheryl. Thanks so much for sharing that. That whole Dominican thing happened to me, and it's such a small island. It's not just Dominican; it could be anywhere. But on one part of the island, I think it's Punta Cana, it's quite a longer wait that you have to wait than if you go to Puerto Plata on the other side of the island. So I guess what I'm saying is there's lists online you can check with how long you got to wait if you go and travel to a different area. And it's not intuitive. You kind of got to look at it and or maybe even call in and ask. But don't just say, "Oh, I've traveled. I can't donate." The donations are needed. Like just check because it varies depending on where you're going in the world.
Yes, we want you to not count yourself out ever. Make sure you have informative, information. Make sure you have checked those eligibility criteria on a regular basis. We want you to double check always. We need those donations.
And Cheryl, my next question here is: if people are not eligible to donate, so sometimes you're not, and that varies from time to time. Is there any other way that they can help?
Yes, so we have so many options of how people can help with Canadian Blood Services when you're not able to donate. But I will just step back for a moment. With plasma, just so everyone knows, plasma does not have the same restrictions that blood donations do. So as a perfect example, plasma is not determined based on malaria contact. So when you're traveling, you don't have to worry about the plasma. So for instance, if there's a member listening to this and they say, "Oh, I was just in the Dominican and they said I couldn't donate blood for 3 months, but I really want to participate. I really want to support Canada's Lifeline." Go to a plasma location and you can donate plasma every 7 days. And it is not based on malaria contact because the liquid gold we speak of, which is the plasma, is not affected by malaria, but our red blood cells are. So that's the difference. So you're asking, what can we do? Well, if we can't donate blood, can we donate plasma? If we can't do a biological donation, maybe we can join the stem cell registry. The stem cell registry is open to anyone from 17 to 35 years old. And what we want the youth in that group to do is to register and have their stem cell possibly be a match for someone. There's over 1,000 patients waiting for stem cell transplants here in Ontario alone. And so what we're hoping is that someone's going to be a match and can save that person's life. The reality is that when we are at the point of needing a stem cell transplant, we're sort of at our last hope, and so we need people to do the stem cell registry so that we have that chance to survive and have that transplant. The other thing we can do is, of course, sign our organ and tissues card on our license. We want to be able to save someone's life, even if we're not here. And it's just such an important thing to do. I signed it as soon as I could. And my daughter, who turned 16, she did it immediately when she got her license. And my son is about to get his license and will be doing the same thing. And lastly, financial gifts. If you're part of an organization that have regular financial donations that you contribute to, organizations that you contribute to, please have Canada's Lifeline be one. We would be so grateful. The amount raised would go towards research to help us do more research to know how we can support the donations and our donor base going forward.
Well, thanks for that, Cheryl. Can you share some fun facts and stats as to why O negative is so special?
Absolutely. So an interesting thing is that I'm B negative. And so I'm extremely rare. I'm 1.4% of all Canadians. And so I'm always being asked to donate to help with the B negative supply across Canada. But you, Emily, are going to be the one to possibly save me if I ended up in the hospital. Obviously, we don't want me to be in the hospital, but if something were to happen, O negative might be the one that saves me because your blood type is compatible with all blood types. So as an example, a little baby that might be born at a hospital with some type of crisis as that child is being born may not have time to blood type that little baby. And so O negative is going to be the blood of choice to save that baby. In a car accident, sometimes trauma situations, as you all as first responders know, sometimes there's not enough time to double check, recheck blood types. The worst thing to do is to obviously give the wrong blood type in a crisis situation. So O negative is going to be the one to save that person's life.
Thanks, Cheryl. Good to know. Calling all O negative people, you're very much in need to donate blood. And I was wondering, Cheryl, if you could share any kind of personal connections that may inspire someone to donate.
Yes, sadly, I do have a personal connection. I wish I didn't, but my father was donated with leukemia back when he was 55 years old. He is now turning 80 this summer, so I'm so happy to have had him all these years, but he has had quite the journey. And in that journey, his body has taken quite a toll from the daily chemo that he is on each and every day, and from the liquid chemo that he had to be on back at the beginning of this journey of his. And so what happens is he gets infections really badly. He has to be so careful to not pick up germs, bacteria, etc. And so what he does is he transfuses a medication on his own into his body every week, and that is a plasma product. So I'm happy to say that I have friends close and dear, actually first responders that I know of for years, that go and donate plasma on behalf of my father. So that is my story, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I spend every single day promoting the need to donate. One might ask, well, why are you not donating plasma? Well, again, I've been in this position for about 3 years. I've learned a lot. It's taken a long time to learn all the ins and outs of all the blood donations and blood products. And I've come to realize that this is something I need to try and do. And so that is one of the stories. And lastly, I will just mention to my sweet boy who's turning 16 this month, not 15. He has a blood disorder. His blood is very low on IgG. And a lot of people don't know what that is, but simply said, when he was a little boy and we had to explain it to him, I might have 100 army guys in my body fighting those infections and running to the scene of a trauma when I scratch my arm. But my little guy, who's not so little anymore, has about 10 of those. So that is how we explained it to him when he was growing up. And that's how I explain it to everybody. And so he fights every day to not require plasma medicated products to support his immune. He's done well, but if for some reason, as he goes along in life and his IgG worsens and he loses even a few of those 10 army guys, he will require plasma products. And so just like my father, he will need to transfuse weekly. So it is close to my heart, and that's what I do. That's why I'm here, and that's why I do what I do every day, because I know the need is so important.
Well, that's thanks very much for sharing those stories, Cheryl. It's hard to share personal stories. I know when I went to donate once, there was a woman that came by, and she had been saved by blood donations, and I got talking to her, and we kind of became friends on social media, and I've been sharing her things all over the place. So it's just the inspiration grows, I guess. And I used to donate quite regularly, especially when I was a student, and I donated a lot in Quebec. I donated a lot in Ontario, and then for some reason I stopped. I don't even know why. And then a few years back, my stepdaughter was in a very serious tobogganing accident, and she broke her back, and she had to have surgery, and some of the meds that she was on actually caused a huge ulcer, and she was pretty much bleeding out in our basement one day, and she had so many blood transfusions to save her life. It was just unbelievable to watch, quite scary too. And I said, I got to start doing this again. So I've been donating ever since, and I'm not going to stop until I'm unable to do it. So
thank you for sharing that, Scott. That's really close to your heart, I'm sure, and I can't even imagine. And you know, you said that you just keep getting inspired as you go along. When I was describing the donation process and getting to the refreshment area and sitting down and talking to other people that are donating, that's where you hear the stories, and that's where you really become extremely humbled to realize just how many people are going through these situations, and how many are saved by blood donations and plasma donations.
Now, I'm going to just circle back to something we already talked about, but I think it's just really important to talk about and just remind people. So can you go over once again how listeners can book an appointment and how OPPA members can get involved?
Absolutely. So if you are a regular donor currently and you have been on blood.ca, donated in the past, you can download the Give Blood app. It's free. You log in your information, which would be your username, would be your email. You either create a password, or if you've created a password in the past, use that. And now you're on that Give Blood app. And simply put, if you have an iPhone, you're going to click on that little happy face of people in the bottom right-hand corner, or if you have an Android, you're going to click on the lines and the top left corner. And once you do that, it says, would you like to join a team? And that's where you type in Ontario Provincial Police Association. And that's where you're going to join that team. Once you've joined the team, depending on if your team is having group donations or not, you can join a special event or just donate individually. And anytime and anywhere your donations, if you belong to the team, will count for that team. If you are a new donor, you can go onto blood.ca or download the free Give Blood app, and you will click register now. And when you register, you're going to put all your information in, you're going to create your password, you're going to register. Once you are part of the Canada's Lifeline and are a member, now you can find that team that we've just spoke about. So it depends on whether you're a new donor or not. And I stress to all the members that are listening, if you've never donated before, it is an easy, simple process. The Give Blood app is amazing. Once you have it, it'll even tell you your stats on like a week after you donate. It'll tell you what your blood type is. It'll tell you your bleed time. It'll tell your hemoglobin levels. You can have fun and do selfies, pictures in the app, and post on social media to rally your friends and family and other members to join.
Great explanation. This has been essential information that you've shared here today, Cheryl, and we're very grateful that you've joined us. And you have my undertaking that we will continue to champion here at the OPP Association and try and spread the word as much as possible. So.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And I thank you for pledging 100 blood donations for 2025 and 50 plasma donations. So you have so many members across Ontario. You can donate anywhere. Just join the team, and that'll count towards the OPPA. And I wish you luck at meeting your goal for 2025.
I hope we can do it. I'm going to need some help out there, people. So please go donate. And we're coming to the end of the podcast here. A special thank you to Cheryl. We had a lot of technical issues when we were recording this. Thank you for your patience today. And any last words, Cheryl?
I think the only thing I'd like to add is that for blood donation specifically, females can only donate 3 times a year. So that's literally 3 hours as an act of service per year that we're asking from females. And males can only donate 4 times a year. So again, technically that's 4 hours of your life throughout a 365-day year that we're asking you to step up and become a regular donor. So I wanted to put it that way so that you understand that we're not asking for a weekly donation. We're asking for a very, very small amount of time over the course of a 365-day year. So we hope you hear that. We hope you are inspired. And I hope that we'll see you at a donation clinic near you.
Great information. Thanks so much, Cheryl. Really appreciate it. You have been listening to Cheryl Russell of Canadian Blood Services talking about the value and need of regularly donating blood. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop each month. If you have any questions or any ideas for future episodes, please email us at communications@oppa.ca. Until next time, thanks for listening and stay safe.